Eddie Hearn hating on unified heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz Jr. ahead of Joshua Ruiz Part 2. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. ESPN Plus, sign up for it. UFC 244 is back on. Nate Diaz, West Coast Gangster, West Coast G versus the 305, East Coast Miami G, Jorge Masvidal. Buy the pay-per-view using my link below. It helps my channel. I am an affiliate working with Disney and ESPN Plus for some affiliate marketing. So I appreciate the people who use my link. November 2nd, this weekend, it's about to go down. Now, Eddie Hearn's back hating, and he's hating on Mexican-American unified champ who he's just doing his thing. December 7th, he's about to rematch Eddie Hearn's boy, AJ. And this is what Eddie Hearn says. He basically says that Ruiz is now fatter than, I guess, the first Joshua fight. But I'll give you guys a direct quote. A lot of people said, I even did a video about it, they said that Andy Ruiz is slimming down. And I told you, it looks like he's cutting some weight, but I don't know if there was some like airbrushing and photoshopping. There's a lot you can do with the Photoshop. I use Photoshop, so I know the power of the tool. So in my video, I said he slimmed it down, which is cool. But, I don't know how accurate the picture where he's like holding on to the speed bag was. And that's the picture everyone's kind of referencing. And I guess he was asked about that, and the link in the description, and they asked if Hearns felt that Ruiz was slimmer than the first Joshua fight. And Eddie Hearn says, I don't think so. I thought Andy Ruiz looked quite tubby. I actually thought he looked heavier than he did previously. Make your own mind up. The clip that I saw, which was him training in San Diego, I didn't think that he looked slimmer than he did in his last camp. There was one picture of him leaning forward on Instagram. The old lean forward, tucked back with a little pout can make you lose half a stone. Maybe he's done that. I thought Andy Ruiz looked heavy. I thought he looked a bit slower, actually. Maybe I'm just used to his speed now. He's a bit tubby, isn't he? I'm a bit tubby. Wow. Hating on the boy Andy Ruiz. Listen, this is perhaps one of the most desperate attempts to, I don't know if this is like a Jedi mind trick, reverse psychology type of thing, but this looks pretty bad for Eddie Hearn. It looks like he's grasping at straws to allude that Andy Ruiz is somehow having a full camp, going to an elevated place like Mexico where there's dense air. He made millions beating Joshua, so he has his team intact. He can get the sparring partners of choice, right? He has a guy who's cooking for him, Zoe's meals or whatnot, right? And he has a nutritionist, or whatever, cooking his food. And Eddie Hearn is out here saying he looked heavier than he did the first fight. The horrible stuff. I've seen pictures. I'll even show you a clip at the end of this video. Andy Ruiz, he was riding in his Lambo, and he's back in the States now. And Andy Ruiz helped, someone who broke down on the side of the road, and him and his boy were helping the guy, or him and the guy were pushing the broke down vehicle maybe to a gas station. I don't know what they were doing, but Andy Ruiz, being a people's champion, he was a good Samaritan, and he was there to help. And even in the clip, you can see Andy Ruiz, he's trying to hold his jeans up. Like, I don't know if he had a belt on, but that's obviously a sign that you're probably losing weight when your jeans don't fit you snug like maybe they did before. And just look at like I said, this is real desperate from Eddie Hearns, in my opinion. You got to look at Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz was on the couch. He had already fought Dimitrenko, and he was waiting for his next assignment, which if he had fought on the PBC platform, it probably wasn't going to be when he fought Joshua June 1st. Because they didn't even have a card June 1st. So he was just chilling. He hadn't had no updates or whatever. Got the phone call, once in a lifetime opportunity that he capitalized on, stopping Joshua, knocking him down 4 times, etc. And, he had to get in the best shape he could. His team talks about they were considering walking away from the sport of boxing. Things weren't going good. Bills weren't getting paid. Money was tight. And, they were in a rut. So you mean to tell me that Eddie Hearns truly believes that Andy Ruiz, who had one fight with the PBC against Dimitrenko and was on the couch, somehow is heavier than Andy Ruiz, who knows what he's up against? He got dropped by Joshua, and then he came back to beat him, knows that everything's riding on this rematch, and now he can, again, get sparring partners flown in. He has a nutritionist and, a personal chef cooking his meals, which he posts lean meats and poultries and fish and stuff like that. And he's eating healthier. I've seen pictures. I'll show you a recent picture. He did like a meet and greet with somebody, right? And he looked a lot slimmer in that picture. And that's more recent than the photo shoot where he's leaning on the speed bag. So, Eddie Hearn's really just hating. That's just what it is. I think that's a bit of fear. A lot of people, they're not going to necessarily just come out and tell you the stuff. I just got to be upfront about things. I feel like that's the safest bet. That's who I am as a person. And there's no time to really beat around the bush and play these games. It's fear. Eddie Hearns knows how much is riding on it. He owes a lot of people a lot of things, like DAZN. They didn't have to bring this whole, if Joshua does not beat Ruiz in the rematch, this whole fight has been a travesty, because at the very least, had different decisions been made when Gerald Miller failed a drug test, Eddie Hearns in rematch room and Barry Hearns, they could have just put him in there with a matchroom heavyweight. Philip Ergovich, Dillian White, Michael Hunter, Usyk, anybody, right? And the worst case scenario, had any of them guys beat Joshua, then they would be 3-4 belt holders, if you include the IBO. They would be the ones with all the belts except for the WBC. But at least it would still be in-house. This is going to be a colossal fail in the vein of David Price versus Tony Thompson if Joshua loses this fight again, especially if he loses it by knockout. Barry Hearn did a recent interview, and he was asked about if Joshua loses, what will he do? And he said, he might retire. And he said it real quick, real prompt after being asked. So it's not looking good, and I think this is just fear speaking out from the Hearns. Why would you be so quick to, surmise that Joshua, should he lose, would retire? Isn't he under 30? Why would he retire? So maybe there's conversations that have been had. Joshua doesn't seem like he's built for that. Because I remember he did an interview with Carl Frampton, and you guys can find this, Carl Frampton interviewing Joshua before the Ruiz loss. And he says, I told my coaches after the Klitschko fight, if I have another war like that, a tough ass fight like that, then that's it. I'm done with boxing. Who says that? Yeah, the Klitschko fight was hard, but you won it by knockout, and hiring the sports psychologists and stuff. So to me, the UK has taken mad L's this year, this whole year, just the UK in general. It's a great place, great people, but these are the facts. There's a lot of people who have lost recently. Anthony Corolla, Luke Campbell lost, both to Lomachenko, right? You had Joshua obviously lose. Katie Taylor lost in public opinion. She really should have lost that fight to Delphine Pursuns. Ted Cheeseman, Sam Aging, and the list goes on and on. Dillian White failed the drug test. Just a lot of L's, bro. Just a lot of Tyson Fury didn't look superb versus Otto Violin, a guy he was supposed to look, who was brought in for him to look superb against, etc. So if Joshua loses this, man, it's going to be a bad look. And I think that's what this is, maybe some reverse psychology from Eddie Hearn. I don't see how it's like pure, like it sounds hateful, and it sounds like you can't truly believe that. You get what I'm saying? It sounds so ignorant to think Andy Ruiz is somehow in less of shape going, like, the fight December whatever 7th will be here before we know it. So if you really think that he's in worse shape now, going through training camp, having a personal chef, having some money to his name, and seeing pictures and videos, if you really and truly think he was somehow in better shape for 5 weeks to prepare, you know, once Ruiz beat Joshua, he proved it to himself as well. He proved to himself that he could do this, you know, and that's important. Sometimes you know what you can do, but just actually going through the motions and, you know, having the belts around your arms and stuff, that solidifies what you knew you could do. And if you think Andy Ruiz is sleeping on this fight or somehow in worse shape with much more time to prepare, then I pray for you. You know, it just sounds like ignorant, and it sounds like you're hating. For Eddie Hearn to suggest that Andy Ruiz is somehow tubbier or heavier with the full ass camp to prepare. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And like I said, I don't claim to be Jillian Michaels. I'm no Jillian Michaels. However, I'm pretty good with the eye test, and you could just look at the video at the end of this video with Andy Ruiz pushing the car, helping the random person whose car broke down. And I'll put a picture in this video and just look at it. You can tell me that Andy Ruiz looks somehow heavier, like Eddie Hearn is saying. So to me, when people start talking like way off and nobody else seems to really see this but a few radical people, then it's usually fear, you know. And I think that fear stems from the DAZN deal, the fact that Joshua's the main culprit. He's the main cash cow with the rematch room. So he needs to win this fight, point blank, period. So I don't know what he's trying. And it's just funny. Tyson Fury has made comments saying Andy Ruiz, he's losing weight and it could be a bad thing. But then now you have another UK guy like Eddie Hearn saying he looked heavier. It's just like, wow, whatever. Let me know what you guys think. Is Eddie Hearn hating? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you like what I'm doing, smash the like button. Use that ESPN Plus link as well. We'll find out December 7th what goes down, and you know, if this weight hurt or helps Andy Ruiz. And then, like, just listen to what he's saying. He's saying Ruiz was looking crisp on the mitts, and he's saying Ruiz looks slower. Man, come on, bro. It's not even sounding believable. New media, we the gang, we control the narrative. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We work.
Good Samaritan. Hey, heavyweight camp, it's a workout, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. 6 weeks. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. What happened?
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.